everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Wilson's Seahawks going up against Palmer's.
Thank you, Larry. It hosted Super Bowls 42 and 49. And it's University of Phoenix Stadium. That's where we're at in Glendale, Arizona. Tonight, it's a good Week 9 matchup here on a Monday night between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their veteran quarterback, the former USC Trojan, Carson Palmer.
There are a number of big quarterbacks in the NFL now, but I still remember the first time I met Carson Palmer. He was at USC, and he came into a meeting, and I thought they were bringing in the tight end, not the starting quarterback.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And not much doing. He'll get this only up to about the 36. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run.
Here we go. Blue 95. Blue 95.
On 2nd down, Palmer. Harris has it over the middle. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and they're going to face a 3rd down. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Get ready. Blue 58. Blue 58.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Offense just a yard away from the line they need to gain. 3rd down.
Let's go. Let's see.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
And, partner, in a lot of short yardage situations, you'll see the linebackers step up into the gaps, what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, to make sure they take away all spaces, all creases. That one worked really well for them.
Now only needed a yard, instead went backwards. Very tough spot here for the offense to start. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. This is Rawls. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. So I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
Now Wilson back into... Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away, because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now Palmer to throw on second down. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic. This is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
Johnson with a completion over the middle. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Second down following the run. They stay on the ground. Rawls again. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And defensively going with a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. He finds his man, Baldwin. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. On second down, here's Wilson. And his throw here is incomplete. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Now it's Wilson. He's got Lockett. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that 3rd down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a first down.
3rd time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on 3rd, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally, because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
And he will possibly get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. On the other hand, it will definitely take. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's 3rd and goal. On 3rd and goal, Wilson. Oh, he almost had the rare interception. The big fella couldn't hang on, though. Incomplete. On his Hauschka now for the Seahawk field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
So I guess we'll call this a pitcher's duel so far. I think that was a 3-run homer there, and it makes it a 3-2 ball game.
Yeah, and what inning are we in? It's not the most common of score lines, but it's pretty indicative of the fact that we're in for a tight one.
The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though? When they only gave up the field goal, and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
18.
And Palmer gives to Johnson. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. A big run there by Johnson. 46 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. So he rips off a great run and shows you why this year he's top 10 in rushing in the league.
And looks like he's trying to move up fast on the leaderboard, doesn't he? Top 10, looks like he's running to get into the top 5.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
But I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Regular.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. To throw is Palmer. This will be caught inside the 10. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
Here we go. 18. 18.
2nd and goal as the offense looks to try to punch it in. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called.
And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. So backed up to the 6 now. 3rd and goal. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. On 3rd and goal, Palmer. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And Gold is able to put it through. And with that, they'll take a 2-point lead here in quarter number 2. So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Tyler Lockett now with a return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Yeah, that right there will set them back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Here's Wilson. And that one falls incomplete. Try to dump it underneath. Now second down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
They come out 5 wide. 3 of them to the right side. Throwing is Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tyvon Branch. And he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line.
And last year was sort of a tough one for Jimmy Graham. He wasn't seeing the same kind of targets he was used to. Then, of course, came the patella injury that wiped out the second half of his year. So he and Russell never really found the connection. And here's an instance where they get a ball picked off.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. On 3rd down, Palmer. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Gold is able to put it through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
On 2nd down, Rawls. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And the 2-minute warning lurking. This will probably be the last play before we hit it.
Yeah, they want to get themselves in position to score in this last shot before the clock hits.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from the desert after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. First down, this is Rawls. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down. An extra DB added here for the Cards on 3rd.
Blitzer play coverage.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. Second down, sacked by the defense. What type of pressure will they bring here on third? We'll see. Third and long. It's Wilson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. And that goes as a gain of 37 on third down. And now they're in the hurry-up. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They come out here in the eye. Now a play fake here on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
So second and 10 here. A 10th carry for Thomas Rawls. And he'll get this down only to the 18. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up third and 9. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now it's Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
You got to give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And it is incomplete. Chuck Pagano decides to go. It doesn't work out. And the Cardinal defense is going to get the football back. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone. We're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
Again, it's Johnson. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. So we reach halftime here in Glen. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I I think they wanted to be positive with him. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. So this is the second consecutive week, as you look at the numbers, that he just doesn't seem to have the same pop as we normally see him with.
Is there an injury we don't know about?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because that's a legitimate question right now. We're used to speed, power, all coming together. And what I've always loved...
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. There's a reason that quarterbacks hate to see Patrick Peterson on the other end, isn't there?
That's because they feel like they should be throwing the football or handing it to him. He looks like an offensive player, but he plays the corner as well as anyone in the league.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They go to Johnson again, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 7, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, anytime it's a toss or a pitch play, it's a battle for the edges. Who's going to control the edge of the line of scrimmage? In other words, can the defensive guys hold their leverage? What we were always taught was keep your outside arm or outside shoulder free if you were playing on the play side, meaning the ball coming towards you. And anyone coming from the backside, they're pinching down and sliding down towards it to try and keep people kind of locked into one spot. And, boy, what a great defensive play there. Weren't out leverage, running to the football from the inside out, turned into a big loss of yardage.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. And he's back here in the struggle department in this one like he was a week ago. And, partner, I think you can pin some of this on that O-line, that room to run just not there.
You mentioned last week that it felt like the offensive line was getting beaten to the punch by the guys across the ball.
And he is into the...